Welcome to the Week 3 playoff Week 3 edition of the Simoneaux Show. Here with head coach David Simoneaux. I'm Josh Johns. Sponsoring this week's show is Patterson Construction Group, Casey Patterson, Custom Home Builders. Coach, Casey's been a solid guy for this program all year long.
Been a great support of the program. Proud to have Cam playing great football for us as a senior. So we appreciate all their support, man. They've done a great job for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So last week, traveled up to North Louisiana and faced the number 2 team in the state, Neville High School. Came back with a victory, 17-16. Slow start to the game, but I thought we finished really strong, especially defensively.
Yeah, man. It's we just said it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and certainly just couldn't have gone any worse for us at the start of that football game. You're down 16-0 before you know it, and you're like, man, what do we need to do to, put the paddles of life on these guys, But I don't think our kids blinked, and we did call a timeout and just say, hey, man, look, all we can do is just, fight one play at a time and just work our way back in this football game. And before you know it, it's 16-8, and that the message then was we're in a one-score football game, and so the kids believe, man, they didn't flinch in the face of the adversity that they fought. Forget getting down 16-0. Just, however you win against a team like that on the road is incredible, man. And I'm so proud of these kids. So proud of these coaches. I'm so proud of this community for the support we had. For the people that were there, we had to have outnumbered the people that were from Neville, and crowd was just intense and into the game the whole time. And man, that means so much. These kids just know that there's 4, 5, 6 charter buses that are loading up full of people from South Louisiana to go up there to Neville, and to be able to defeat a traditional power like that, is awesome, man. So the challenge now is just to make sure that we're not satisfied and make sure that we stay hungry and get ready to roll for Dutchtown this week.
Yes, sir. The support all year long for Wildcat Nation has been unbelievable. The fact that we traveled that well, 3.5 hours, 4 hours away, is pretty impressive, and I know that goes a long way with the kids and the team. And look, just like you said, came out, talking about the travel. You have to take a bus trip up there. You know how your body feels after traveling. So that is a challenge. Having to travel 3.5 hours to the northern part of the state, and just to go out and start the game down 16 against that number 2 team. Look, a lot of teams may have folded in at that point, but I just felt that we just kept chipping away, and you could see it. There wasn't any give up, let up in the kids, or what they weren't giving up. And man, I thought they played so hard and so well. So just a really exciting Friday night last Friday. And
my challenge to the kids before we walked out of the locker room was, let's love each other to victory. And when you just watch the way that those guys played, the passion and the intensity, we tell them all the time, the way you honor your teammates is by the way you put your body on the line, and just the pace and the intensity that you play at, And what you saw after the game was a bunch of guys that were physically drained that just poured their heart out in a great work for one another, and we're emerged victorious, and you gotta love that feeling in the second round of the playoffs against a football team like that, So super proud coach, man.
Yeah, and look, I thought a big, probably the turning point for us in the game was we're down 16, we get the ball back, and then I forget how far of the play of a catch and run it was, but Keith and Womack from Jackson Furman. You just felt after that long touchdown pass that we were right back in this game. We get the 2-point conversion, we're within one score. Things just felt different at that point.
Yeah,
so.
And we're balancing injuries on the offensive side of the football. We're trying to kind of feel our way through that. And that was the spark that we needed to get everybody up and going again. And it was just a beautiful pass from Jackson. Keithan, it looked like he didn't ever break stride, and maybe didn't even know the ball was in his hands. It was just perfectly placed there. So heck of a throw in a big time situation, and got the guys rocking and rolling, and we were able to punch in that 2-point conversion to make it a 1-score game, and everybody knew it was on from there.
Yeah, and we were just talking off camera, but talking about the defensive side of the football, they didn't score. I think there was 5 or so minutes left in the first quarter, and when they had put up 16 points, and they didn't score since then. So just incredible job by the defensive unit. I thought they just played fast, they played hard, they played, technically sound all game, and I mean, our front four, front seven really was just getting after them all night.
Yeah, 41 minutes of scoreless football against a team like that at their place is huge. There was 31 rushes for them for 79 yards on the night. When you're able to do that to a team like Neville, you know that you've done something well. So we're proud of those guys for how hard they're playing. You know what type of mental intensity and focus and understanding of schemes that it takes to fit the run that well over the course of 30-something plays. And as you know, we mix our fronts up, so for those guys to know their fits and arrive there with the type of physicality and to be winning at the line of scrimmage, it's just something that, man, I'm fired up about. So these guys got to keep that rolling this week. We'll have another strong test in the running game.
So, Coach, we're in the quarterfinals here. One win away from getting to the semis. The last time we were in the semifinals was my senior year. That was 2008. What do you feel the significance of this for this program right now, coming off a 4-6 year, just needing some juice, needing some life, and just completely turning this thing around? How do you feel this one game, going from quarterfinals, the significance of this one game? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, man, I'm excited to be in the quarterfinals. That's kind of the standard in the state of Louisiana. If you're practicing on Thanksgiving week, you've done something extremely well. The last time we were in the quarters was 2013. That was my second to last year here as the offensive coordinator. At Central High School, I've never made it to the semis. I wasn't a part of that staff that you guys had in 2008. So it's uncharted territory for me as well. Had the blessing of being there with the Catholic Point Peas, the Catholic Highs, and Parkview Baptist several times. But man, it would mean a ton for me to be able to graduate on up into the semifinals and get that much closer to the Superdome. We know we got our hands full with Dutchtown, but when you think about the significance of it, I mean, you can just feel the electricity in this town, and you can feel just the pride that everybody has here and what these kids are accomplishing, and anytime I think, one program is able to elevate itself like, the football program is right now, I think it just adds courage to, every program around it, Our goal here, in the athletic department is to maximize, everybody's God-given athletic potential, and to produce champions, on the field and in the game of life. And I'm so proud of the type of kids that we have on our team that are just excelling in both areas. And then I'm proud of the coaching staff and the leadership, they've brought to the table. And I'm just super excited for what it's doing for the city. And, man, we got a great thing going right now. Just want to keep it rolling.
Absolutely, Coach. And look, it just like you said, the program and just the whole community kind of rallies around a winning team, especially football. There's something about football that just, it makes it a little bit different of a sport. Look, you're out there, you're putting your body on the line. You're fighting for one another. It's the ultimate team sport. It's not war, but it might be the closest thing to war that we can practice, and play as a sport. So, look, it's just something special, something different about it. And when a team is winning like this, it just that you can feel the community just kind of latch on and say, hey man, this is something special here. And a lot of credit goes to those guys and how they have, this team and how they have just taking what you coaches have tried to teach them all year long and just keep chipping away and slowly just becoming, a pretty dang good football team. So
yeah, man, I go back to the mantra of Central Fight, and Central Fight was alive and well in that stadium on Friday night in Neville High School when we got down 16-0 and just clawed and fought our way back and believed our way back into that football game and found a way to snatch victory from a great football team, and so this town is a blue-collar, hard-nosed, tough group of people, and I'm just so proud to be a part of what's going on right now, and look forward to just fighting to keep our football family together for one more week.
Yes, sir. Well, let's take a look at a couple of those clips from last week. Starting off the offensive side of the football, we touched on this play earlier. Huge play, kind of brought us back to life here. We're down 16-0, and Furman just puts a strike right on Keith and Womack.
Yeah, man, there's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and we're mustering a little drive up here, but really just trying to find some signs of life. And, we got a little play action on here, and Jackson just does an awesome job of finding the open receiver, Keith and Womack, who's running a great route, splits the splits the safety and the corner, and is able to race away from him for a big, 52-yard touchdown right there. Man, man, this is one of the cleanest pockets I've seen all night long too. You know, this offensive line is doing an awesome job of creating a beautiful pocket for Jackson to be able to work this play action, step up, and deliver a strike.
Yes, I'm glad you touched on the offensive line. I thought they did a heck of a job all night. You just kind of wore down that Neville front a little bit. Who, their defense was the high point of their team. You know, their defense was holding people to hardly anything all year, and our offensive line did a great job. So,
next play is a 2-point conversion. This is huge because we got to make it a 1-score game here, and we get in this new heavy set. And man, I love what KD Mays does to this first edge defender. Just the guy tries to get up underneath his pads and just lifts him up off the ground and drives him about 3 yards in the end zone, and then Damon gets behind big Aiden Wilkinson and is able to punch it in.
Yeah, it's huge. It kind of shows the physicality that we were bringing it, with all night, and that was a huge momentum shift in that game to take it to a 1-score. Shifting to the defensive side of the ball here, they're down on the goal line, and this is when you really got to get physical and get tough. And they jump into their heavy package here, and we just completely stuff them up front.
Yeah, Coach Camp does a great job of matching personnel always. You can see we got Aiden Wilkinson and Andrew Richard in there, and they're getting great penetration, knocking people off the ball. And anytime somebody wants to jump in one of these sets, I think it's important that you set the tone early about what your football team is going to do. Is it going to back down when you get in these big packages, or are they going to come at you? So just great job of getting the penetration right here. Aiden Wilkinson, DK Mays, then once they wrap him up, they drive him about 5 yards back and finish on top. And I love seeing those guys finish that way.
Yeah, look, Richard and Wilkinson hopping in that defensive package does a ton for that front there. It's tough to run on those guys. Plus, you got Braylon George, DK Mays, KD Mays. I mean, just makes it pretty tough for anybody.
Yep.
Special teams side of the ball here, it's 16-8 at this point, so well on the way of making our comeback at this point in time. And huge punt here by Nathan Zimmer. Just 42-yard punt, completely flips the field after we kind of stalled offensively. Just a great job.
Yeah, I was proud. I always tell Zimmer he's a weapon. When he is playing consistent, he is a guy that just really can help change football games, and this certainly does. We're on the 26-yard line. It's 16-8. There's 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter, and he's able to punt this thing down to the 30-yard line for a 42-yard punt, and just put our defense in a situation to be able to make sure they have to drive a long football field to be able to go down and score again.
Shifting back to the defensive side of the football here, huge play in the game. They were putting together a little drive at 16-8 at this point. They're about at midfield, and 3rd and 4, and Jake Gyro comes up with a big-time sack.
Yeah, man, you got to credit the whole defense for this. First of all, rush lanes are awesome. This guy's got to step up in the pocket. Kyle Veal applies some pressure, but as you can see on the outside, everybody's just covered up, and secondary did a great job. We're in a man-free situation here. Make sure everybody was on their men. They're trying to run a little mesh concept, and everybody's just covering their dudes up. Jake's actually blitzing the back here and is able to just come off and make a play here. And 3rd and 4 turns into 4th and 5, and they got to punt the football to us, and then we get a chance to go down and score some points and make it 16-11 before half.
All right, going to the offensive side of the football here. A minute and some change left before halftime, 16-8. We end up driving down the field and getting 3 points here, and large part of that was due to this play right here by Aiden Wilkinson.
Just two guys that got a lot of confidence in one another. Jackson delivers a strike right here. This is inside leverage man coverage, which is really not something we like throwing this into. But golly, Aiden just makes the play, goes straight Rob Gronkowski mode, runs the linebacker over after the corner falls off of him. Runs the safety over, falls forward, 27-yard gain, and we're getting closer to the goal line now. We're able to get a field goal here with 2 seconds left on the clock.
Special team side of the football here, about midway through the 3rd quarter, this was a huge play in the game. They punted it away, and we were able to get a nice return here, and just a really nice block set up, and put us on the plus side of the field.
Yeah, to me, special teams is about desire. And we're in a man blocking scheme here. Credit Coach Joey Gyro for scheming this thing up, man. He put us in a great situation. Did a great job of matching our personnel to put them in a situation to be successful. I got to highlight Manny Williams here, man. If you watch him from the start, number 11, he's anticipating an inside release, and the guy reverses on him, So he's just got to get in trail mode and work his butt off. This is a drill that we work all the time. But man, he stays attached and is able to get his hands in his framework, lift him and pancake him, which helps us get the edge here. And then Blazon's got great speed, as everybody knows, and it's a huge return that something that sets us up to be able to go down there and score the go-ahead touchdown.
Coach, you gotta love when we just out-physical somebody. I think we hop in the same package, ran the same 4 plays to get down to this point, but this is, I think, 4th and 2 right here on the goal line, and we just been out-physicaling them to get to this point, and you just gotta love the push on the offensive line.
Yeah, this is you got a bunch of guys on the field that you can trust. You got DK Mays, KD Mays, Aiden Wilkinson, and Damon Blocker, and we got this close and we wasn't about to kick a field goal. We're going to make sure we punched it in and try and take the lead. So Damon just piles it in there behind DK Mays, who's taken one of their really good defensive ends, number 99, and deposited him back into the end zone. And man, that was a heck of a football play and a turning point in the game.
Sticking on the offensive side of the football, at this point we're up 17-16. About 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Just a really tough run, a little RPO. Jackson makes the read and sends it out to Keith and Womack, and he just runs the ball really tough right here on the perimeter.
Yeah, I guess as people listen to us, they know what we're looking for out of our kids. We want toughness at every level and at every position. And Keithan is just a sophomore. We got a little RPO on here. We got Dalton Raffini and Evan Jones out there blocking for him. They double the point guy, and Keithan's got to take care of the rest, man. He gets contacted about 4 yards up the field and then just powers his way through several people. There may be a little push in there, but just love seeing these guys fighting through contact and the yak, and you can see how excited our sideline got.
4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game, still up 17-16, which was the final score, by the way. Coach Camp sends some edge pressure right here, and KD Mays just makes a big-time sack in a big-time moment.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, they say, and this is, one of our just consistently best football players, no matter where we put him, special teams, when he jumps in there on offense and helps us as a blocking back and stuff like that. Great situational awareness, seeing the sprint out coming. Running back just doesn't even try to block him really, and he's able to get this guy and get him launched on the ground, and it's going to be 3rd and 25, and that's a tough situation to be in when you're down by 1 point with 4 minutes left to go in the game.
It is, and like you said, you can see his readjustment there as he sees the sprint out. Just a headsy player a play by a great player. So moving on to Dutchtown High School quarterfinal game. So tell us a little bit about Dutchtown. Who's their guys? What is the kind of their MO offensively and defensively? What's our keys to success this week?
Yeah. Starts with Coach Mastretta, their head football coach over there, who's won state championships at Redemptress, and Dad is a legendary coach in the area, and we got a lot of respect for the type of football that he's always coached wherever he goes. They're gonna play hard. They're gonna be fast. They're gonna be physical. They're gonna play great defense and special teams, and they're gonna make sure that they're where they're supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. Dutchtown is they kind of hang their hats on their defense. They got three defensive linemen up front that are really great football players. Number 0 is a guy that you can keep your eyes on. Him at 99 really can wreak a lot of havoc up front. They're kind of in the 3-4 mold or structure, and they have a strong side overhang or a field side overhang, number 22. That's a commitment to Southeastern. He'll also run the football for them. He's a really good football player. Two solid linebackers in 45 and 9. And then on the back end, they have 4 guys that can really run, 7, 5, 1, and 17. And then they have a boundary backer, number 21, who's a very good player too. They've given up 88 points all year long. They're averaging 8 points a game. There's been very few people that have rushed for over 100 yards against these guys. They are a tough quarterfinal football game. On the offensive side of the football, they hang their hats on running it. Although they have some deep threats in number 3 and number 2. And the quarterback, number 12, does a good job of getting the ball distributed to those guys. 2 running backs in number 6 and number 4. Both of those guys are great hands. Number 6 is probably the bell cow. Got great speed. He's a good-sized kid, probably 6 foot, 200, 205 pounds. tough to bring down, and good top end speed too. You know, Dutchtown's just had so many good backs over the years. And then in the kicking game, their kicking game is strong, you know, because of the way that they personnel it. You know, a lot of the guys that play on the offensive and defensive side of the football, starters, are running down the football field on kickoff, punt team, punt return team, and all that type of stuff. And you can tell they take a lot of pride in that phase of the game as well. So, you know, look, man, I think it's a very evenly matched contest, and it's one that we got to go out there. We got to make sure we take care of business. They have a big O-line, something that I didn't mention, that a lot of people have had trouble handling. And, you know, we're going to hang our hats on our offensive line too, you know. So it's going to be a war in the trenches, and it's going to come down to kind of the same things last week, you know, making the big plays when they need to be made, and just staying the course whether, you know, things are going our way or they're not, just keeping that competitive focus and maturity. So we can play a 48-minute contest and hopefully get into the semis for the first time since 2008.
Sure, look, we're excited to see you know, the product of Central High School on the field on Friday night. And it just sounds like, just like any other game, look, it's going to come down to the front seven on both sides of the football, and who's going to win the line of scrimmage. You know, that's where the game is always won. You know, 99.9% of victories come by who controls that line of scrimmage. And you know, we know we want to run the football and we want to establish that dominance up front, and it sounds like they want to do the same thing. And you know, I'm excited to see how we match up with them on Friday night.
It's going to be a great atmosphere, man, against two great programs. And you know, I know the Central community is going to come out in full force. You know, just the idea that we travel that well, 3.5 hours away, I know we'll be packed on Friday nights. Do want to appeal to everybody, man. If you're on the fence, you know, make sure you get your butt out and come cheer these guys on. They've been working their butts off, and you know, we're looking forward to having that crowd support behind us. So we thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for everything you guys have done for us, and you know, those "We Believe" signs that we got out in the community right now. That's pretty awesome. We appreciate all the support.
Yeah, thanks again to Patterson Construction Group and Casey Patterson. And this will conclude the Week 3 playoff edition of the Simoneaux Show. Can't wait to see us on Friday night, Coach. Looking forward to it.
Hey, y'all going to be on the call on Friday night, right?
We're going to be on the call. We will be broadcasting. Hopefully, you'll be there at the stadium. But if not, yes, we will be broadcasting live this Friday night.
Go Cats.